Everyone, my name is Kimia and I am an international undergraduate student. And in this video, I'm going to talk about how to get your first paid position while you're still in university. And first, let's start with why you should do that, why you should get a job in university. Well, first of all, have you ever gone to LinkedIn or Indeed and tried to look for jobs? Entry level jobs, I really recommend you do that, because then your eyes will open to what entry level jobs actually, what are the expectations of that, of people for those jobs. And you will see that entry level is usually 3 to 5 years of experience, and it's kind of crazy that they expect you to have experience for your first job. So as it is important to highlight that, okay, unpaid positions also could count toward those experiences. And of course, you can graduate from university and with a lot of involvements in clubs and everything without working for a single dollar, and then get a really good job. That is absolutely possible. But also, why would you work for free? Well, there are so many good opportunities out there. And also, when you are working for someone, when you're getting paid for something, the stake is higher for you and for that employer. And they ask you more, they tutor you, and they mentor you. And yeah, it's a whole different environment than when you're just volunteering or it's a student run thing. So now that we know why it's important to have a job, let me just tell you why I am actually making this video. I went from a student, when I was in my first year, I applied to so many things. Literally, I made CVs for all those single jobs that I applied for. And I have the CVs to prove that I applied to so many jobs, and they were all on-campus jobs. So I was competing against other students. And also, yeah, I was a first-year student. That's valid. But right now I'm in second year. Literally, there is not much of a difference between... There is a lot of difference. But you don't actually gain much more experience, especially the jobs that I applied to for the summer. I didn't get anything. It was so sad, man. It was so sad. Every time I would just apply to something and then I wouldn't hear anything from them. I felt like I was just ghosted. And then by the end of the summer and also the beginning of the fall semester, it was literally 4 to 5 months after that. So I didn't really have any more experience, or I wasn't much older. I hadn't taken courses. I did actually, but they didn't know that. It was the summer. I ended up getting literally every single position that I've applied for from the end of the summer to right now. I've applied to so many things, and no matter how competitive it is, I literally have gotten every single one. So I'm going to tell you how this whole transformation thing happened. First thing, and the most important thing, is your resume. If you have a bad resume, which I did, my resume had a picture on it. And I thought, you know what? If I put never mind. But, I also, it was so colorful, and it was just absolute unprofessionalism. It was so bad. So I became a peer helper in our university's, my university's experiential learning hub department, which focuses on career advising and giving resume reviews and CV reviews, mock interviews and things like that. And as peer helpers, we do that. So when we were in training to learn how to write a resume, I just thought back of my resume and I wanted to kill myself. The person that was actually teaching us was another peer, like a senior peer helper, and she actually was like, I see some students have pictures, and I'm like, why would you put a picture on it? Like, what were you thinking? And I was like, seriously, like, what was it? Why did I do that? And anyway, it was bad. So also make sure that you are following the rules of your country, because I know in UK or like Europe, I think in general, it's common to have a picture. So if you're from those countries, just make sure that it aligns with whatever, even like it's different from province to province. Here, like what I've heard and what I've seen on YouTube looks not much, but it does look different than what we are taught at, like as a peer helper. And our university usually like gets all this information for training from like HR people who are in the industry and are looking for these resumes. So they're like, okay, we're looking for these people. So then they teach us how to tailor the students to what those HR people want. So yeah, it's also very important to have one source. If you're following like 10 people for resume tips, you're going to get super confused and you're going to have a very flawed resume. Unless you get really lucky and like you just pick whatever is good in them. I didn't do that. That's why I had a really horrible resume. I can make a video about like resume review after we are like at, I don't know, 20 subscribers, I guess. But yeah, I can definitely do that. And I can put my past resume and my present resume. But yeah, resume is very important, so make sure you get that done. Something else about resume, and also a lot of positions like that I have applied for in university, most people know that students might not have the greatest resume. And also, it's a better way to know if someone is a good candidate or not if they have a prompt. And for those prompts, I always, literally always use ChatGPT. I put in my resume, I put in the prompt, the question, and then I ask ChatGPT, and I obviously like, I say, okay, I want to mention these 3 things, like I want to highlight these 3 things, and it writes me a perfect like prior paragraph to just put in there. And with that, I got a position that it was like fully just answering prompts, and that is I applied to be in the first response team of our university. Why do I keep saying our my university? Like me and like a bunch of other people, but like yeah, my university. And that first response team, it's so competitive because literally everyone who wants to go into vet school, and Guelph has a lot of students who want to go to vet school, medical school, dental school, nursing, literally everyone who are in those areas, they want to go and be a part of FRT because it's like a great resume builder. And I literally I'm not even remotely interested in any of those things, and I'm not even in a full science degree. I'm doing biotechnology and business. So I applied, and then I'm also in second year. I applied, and my friend who is a 4th year biomedical student, and I have another friend who is a 2nd year biochemistry student, and neither of them actually got in, and I did. And I really owe ChatGPT literally everything. I don't know where I would be if I didn't have it, but it changed my life. So make a use out of this free tool that we have, because we don't know how long it's gonna stay free, but I'm definitely gonna pay for it once it's like, I don't care, like I'll sell my kidneys and buy ChatGPT, because like I cannot without it. Next step is to actually start with unpaid positions, okay? Don't try to just jump into paid positions right away. Like if you have never been active on campus and then you're like, oh, well, I deserve to be paid for my time. Yes, if you're actually bringing value to some like department or something. Wait, okay, come in. Thank you for waiting. My best friend just came and we spent 2 hours playing ukulele. So let's continue. So yeah, as I was saying, just stick to unpaid positions which actually you can learn something. Don't just get involved with random things that take up your time, like bullshit weekly meetings that you don't really do anything in. Actually do unpaid things that you can at least learn, soft skills like teamwork and leadership and attention to details. There are all things that you can learn in an unpaid position. So do that for at least, not at least, I think actually 1 semester is a good amount of time. That's what I did 2 semesters, but I think 1 semester, the winter semester, I took it more seriously, and then it got me my first paid position. So yeah, make sure as you are going through an unpaid position, just look at it as something, like just look for any opportunity that can bring some sort of value to a resume. So for example, when I got involved with my degree's student association just because they had an event that they were giving away cookies and hot chocolate. And I was like, okay, if it seems like this is a rich club if they're just like giving away this many cookies and hot chocolate. And I was right. I'm actually the VP finance right now, and this fucking club is rich. Anyway, so I got involved because I wanted to be notified. I didn't have to really. I could have just followed their Instagram, but I was like, you know what? I would feel better, coming to these events if I'm actually a part of the team. And I got involved, and the next semester, I was like, okay, this is bringing no value to me. So I started actively looking for ways that I was stepping out of my position. I was the Bachelor's of Arts, the arts department representative, and I just had to go to these random meetings. But I stepped out of my position and I did way more than that. I started talking to students in my classes about different challenges they're facing, and I became the voice of my people in my class and all the first years in arts and science. And I met with our main faculty advisor for the degree, and yeah, I told him everything that people have been telling me, and I came up with different ways that we can fix these problems. And I absolutely just took advantage of being a part of that team as a way to gain some authority. And the authority that nobody gave me, I just took it. And I gained so much more confidence. That's the most important thing. But also, I switched something that was literally nothing, that was not worth actually putting on my resume, to something that at the time it was the strongest thing that I had on my resume. Just being the voice of the entire first year students. Another thing about doing unpaid positions is that, first of all, you can network with people. And for example, I started as a volunteer, and I mean, it doesn't actually I'm not sure if it is networking, but yeah, it does give if that thing that you're doing an unpaid position for, if you're actually doing good, they will consider you for a paid position, which is something that happened for me for my first paid position. I was first volunteering for Let's Talk Science. As a volunteer, I literally jumped on everything. Like, if they just sent an email, I would answer immediately with, yeah, give it to me. I'll do it. And I even went beyond them emailing me. I was like, what is Let's Talk Science doing? You know, about like different events and stuff. I would just do research in Google. And then I found this, Stem Cell Talk. And I emailed them 3 months before and I said, I'm really interested in being a part of this, whether I'm going to be volunteering or like whatever you need. And they reached out to me about like very close to the event, actually, like maybe 2 weeks before the event. And they said, well, yeah, we need some volunteers for this if you want to join. But also, we need a speaker, like a guest speaker, to give the students a stem cell 101. So initially, they were planning on having a PhD or master's student do it, but I'm guessing they couldn't find anyone. So I literally, like, I just saw that email and I freaked out and I was screaming. I was like, obviously, yes. So as a first-year student, I took the role that was meant for a PhD or master's students. Obviously, I actually didn't have enough information about stem cells to give that talk, but I just educated myself about the topic. I learned, I made the presentation. Actually, no, that's actually not true. I was given the presentation. I had to write my own script. So, yeah, that was at least like a little less pressure on me. But anyway, so take advantage of any opportunity that just is given to you, and even if it's not given to you, go get it. And one last thing about just another way to make sure that your transition from unpaid positions to paid positions is smooth, make sure you actually build a good connection with people who are supervising you, or like if there is a president in your club, or like if you're volunteering for people, like if you have a supervisor or something, have a good relationship with them, so when you are applying for a paid position and you need a reference letter, like not a letter, just somebody to be your reference, you can actually have them as your reference. And especially if you're a student and like you're looking for a job within your university, which there are a lot of those jobs, so that would be something that would be really valuable, and literally everyone would ask for a reference. And it is hard to give a reference when you haven't done anything, so that's a good way to have something, you know? Okay, well, that is our video. Obviously, like there is like more details into how to write a good resume, and then like once you actually get an interview is something that you really have to nail and get good at, which I can make other videos about it. But right now, go get that unpaid position and go and slay at it, you know? Yeah, you got this.